Hi, and welcome to 647. 6 stories for 7 a.m. because, well, there's a famine of truth in our land. And this is your quick news fix. And the truth starts now. Well, it's Wednesday. It's Hump Day, February 4th. And guess what? It's Molly's birthday. Happy birthday, Molly. All right, so let's go. There's 2 Tapas items because we're celebrating a birthday. So Tapas 1, Donald Trump signs a bill. What's it about? He just did it late yesterday. President Trump signs a spending bill to reopen the government after the latest Democrat shutdown on Tuesday. Democrats led by Chuck Schumer settled a negotiated funding bill this weekend over opposition to funding DHS and its immigration enforcement operation, sending the government into another Schumer shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson predicted a new deal would be passed by Tuesday this week. He was saying that over the weekend. That means this is all fake, all right? It's fake. The Democrats can't handle their extreme lefty growing part of their party, and so they go to the Republicans and go, look, let us shut this thing down just for one day and say it's because we refuse to fund DHS and ICE, and then that'll get the extreme left off our back, and then you can say, okay, we got something worked out on Tuesday, but at least give us something, and we'll give you something down the road. That's if these rhinos even did any of that, okay? But I don't like it. It's disgusting. All right, Tapas 2. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of former leader Muammar Gaddafi, killed in Libya. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi had been considered the number 2 leader in Libya before the death in 2011 of his father, Muammar Gaddafi. The 53-year-old's killing was confirmed by his political advisor, Abdullah Othman, but the exact circumstances of his death remain unclear. Okay. Take 1. Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping. TMZ alleges that they've received a ransom note asking for Bitcoin, millions of dollars of Bitcoin. Okay? This is very tragic for this family. Yesterday, 12:59 p.m., the Pima County Sheriff's Department posted on X they are aware of reports circulating about a possible ransom note regarding the investigation into Nancy Guthrie. Another scary twist in the disappearance of Today host Savannah Guthrie's kidnapped mother. TMZ has received an alleged ransom note demanding payment for the release of Nancy Guthrie. The note, which was sent to us Tuesday morning, demands a specific, substantial amount of Bitcoin. The amount is in the millions, and the note demands the cryptocurrency be sent to a specific Bitcoin address. TMZ has verified the Bitcoin address is real. There is a deadline connected to the alleged ransom and an element of or else. I hope somebody's on this. All right, take 2. Clinton's reached deal with House Republicans to testify, likely avoiding contempt charges. You know, all this stuff is like kabuki theater, you know. Bill and Hillary Clinton will appear before the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee in closed-door interviews on February 27th and February 26th, respectively, meeting a noon deadline imposed by GOP leadership. Republicans and Democrats on the Oversight Committee have been clear. No one is above the law, and that includes the Clintons. House Oversight Chair James Comer said in a statement Tuesday afternoon, once it became clear that the House of Representatives would hold them in contempt, the Clintons completely caved and will appear for transcribed, filmed depositions this month. The Clintons reversed course Monday night as the House was in the process of teeing up contempt resolutions for floor votes as soon as Wednesday, which could have resulted in their incarceration by the Trump Justice Department. House Republicans appeared genuinely hopeful Tuesday they could avoid the contempt vote and facilitate the Clintons' testimony instead. Rep. Thomas Massie, Republican Kentucky, who has led the charge to release information in the Epstein case, said in an interview he never truly thought contempt was likely. Nobody did. I thought it was always just a negotiation on the terms, he said. That's just the game that has to be played, unless you're a normal citizen. And then we just throw your ass in jail because there's a different level of justice for you. You peons. I hope you're happy with that. I'm not. All right, take 3. Obama's Chinese baby bump. Obama encouraged Chinese birth tourism inside the U.S. Okay? There is so much documented crime by this asshole, and he is running around giving speeches encouraging riots. What the hell is wrong with the DOJ? They got all the receipts on this clown. Birth tourism for communist China exploded under the watch of former President Barack Obama, allowing Chinese nationals, including Chinese Communist Party officials, to have babies in the U.S. and claim birthright citizenship. This is all out of Peter Schweitzer's new book that is off the charts called The Invisible Coup: How American Elites and Foreign Powers Use Immigration as a Weapon. Now you're going to see how long ago they started doing this. And Obama just opened the gates of hell wide on this thing. In a chapter titled China, the Manchurian Generation, Schweitzer explains how the Obama administration made Chinese birth tourism more accessible by ordering U.S. consular offices not to deny visa applicants solely because they plan to travel to the United States to obtain citizenship for their children. They're telling the consulates this. Yeah, we're coming here to have our babies so that they can have citizenship in your country. All CCP plants. Obama made it so Chinese birth tourists did not even need to lie on their visa applications. The change in policy also made it harder to prosecute visa fraud cases involving birth tourism. Then, in November 2014, the Obama administration made Chinese birth tourism even easier when President Obama announced a 10-year reciprocal visa agreement with China. Before the agreement, visas issued to Chinese citizens to visit the United States were valid for only 1 year and required an annual interview for renewal. With the 10-year multi-entry visas, Chinese nationals could shuttle back and forth, giving birth to multiple children in the U.S. Are you getting this? It's unbelievable. Indeed, U.S. Customs records of interviews with birth tourists suggest that such shuttling back and forth happens all the time. In 2017, a couple traveling from China already had 2 children born in the United States and was now having their third. The father happened to be, are you ready for this? A Chinese military officer. According to a U.S. Senate report, having multiple anchor babies in the U.S. is relatively common. Schweitzer notes that while foreign nationals from other countries like Russia and Mexico have embraced birth tourism as a state-sanctioned practice, China is by far the most aggressive and organized. In fact, China's birth tourism websites incentivize Chinese nationals traveling to the U.S. to have children. One example Schweitzer cites is the website AsianChild.com, which lays out housing and food options for parents while they're in the U.S. and offers shopping sprees. Other companies offer highbrow services like award-winning chefs, Chinese medical consultations, as well as an extensive consultations about living permanently in the U.S. China Mifu Baby Group, Mifu for short, a luxury baby operation based in Irvine, California, is comprised of at least 50 properties, and nearly every property was purchased for more than $1 million with a mortgage. Beijing's appeal to Chinese elite encouraging U.S. birth tourism has nothing to do with American values or patriotism. Birth tourism operators tout that the United States is the most attractive nationality because of free stuff, not free dumb. Okay? We're the free dumb. Okay? Dumb. Because we don't value our freedom. We elect jerks who hate our country and want to bring it down. U.S. citizens receive free education from junior high school to public high school, and even senior supplemental benefits like Social Security and Medicare when you are living overseas. One Chinese agency offers a primer on how the U.S. welfare system works. Are you getting this, freedoms? Okay? Barack, the hope and change was for the CCP. This dude hates the U.S. He's the Black Soros, and he belongs in jail yesterday. Jeez. All right. Speaking of people who belong in jail, this is on the New Orleans Police Department, which is as crooked as you can get. New Orleans, a sanctuary city. It's just unbelievable. ICE confirms to Fox News that they've arrested a New Orleans Police Department recruit who they say is an illegal alien from Cameroon with an active deportation order and no work authorization, and they say he was illegally given a gun by the New Orleans PD. You cannot make it up. ICE says 46-year-old Larry Tima was 1 week away from graduating the New Orleans Police Department Academy when they arrested him. Can we say he paid somebody off to look the other way and almost made it? He almost made it. He was 1 week away from graduating. They say Tima first entered the U.S. illegally in 2015 on a visitor's visa and was granted conditional residency after marrying a U.S. citizen in 2016. However, in 2022, his application for permanent residency was denied due to fraud. Who knows? Maybe he married his sister or he opened a few daycares. I don't know. I just know what I hear other people of distinction have done. ICE says Tima was ordered to appear in immigration court 3 times, but never did. That's shocking. You'd think they'd all be cooperative, but none of them appear because that law sucks and has no teeth to it. He disregarding U.S. laws, which resulted in an immigration judge ordering him deported in absentia. Isn't that tough? We're deporting you in absentia. You're still here illegally doing all your rotten crap, but the judge did something, resulting in his active deportation order. DHS statement to Fox: this illegal alien from Cameroon, Larry Tima, is not only breaking the law with every step he takes in this country illegally, but the New Orleans PD hired him and issued him a firearm. What kind of law enforcement department gives criminal illegal aliens guns and badges? Well, ones that get payola. It is a felony for illegal aliens to even possess a firearm. Sanctuary cities like New Orleans ignore ICE detainers and are protecting illegal aliens at the expense of American citizens. That's just off the charts, stupid. All right. I'm giving you the teaser on a longer article by Natalie Winters. I can't do it all, and I'm sorry about that because she may be the best investigative reporter in the United States and the youngest. And she just does an amazing job. So, anti-ICE Minnesota mayor took free China trip from communist influence group, signed collaboration deal expanding Beijing's reach. Several American mayors, including local leaders from Minnesota, who have publicly opposed funding for ICE, traveled to China last fall on an all-expense-paid delegation organized by a communist pro-China influence group. The benefactor, the United States Heartland China Association, is a GRC. What's that? A governance, risk, and compliance group that helps the Chinese Communist Party get around our laws and influence peddle here. And it starts, you see, it starts all the way with Obama. It goes all the way through. We don't even know how many tens of millions of dollars Biden sold us out for. I hope that all comes out. His whole family was involved in it. The GRC that belongs to the Chinese Communist Party United Front influence apparatus, which seeks to influence overseas politics in favor of China. Leading the delegation was Kim Norton, the mayor of Rochester, Minnesota. Norton's participation in the trip, which ran from October 23rd to November 2nd, 2025, is revealed as she has been a leading voice calling for ICE to leave Minnesota and cut their funding, all while defending Somali fraud in her state. Okay? That's just a taste of a long and great article, but this is how it gets done. We got dipshits like this mayor in Rochester, Minnesota, who's grinning like a goof over in China and accepting everything. And it's all for the destruction of the U.S. Okay, we're at take 6. This is an arms study, Advanced Reprobate Mind. It's somewhat of a celebrity study. It's somewhat of a political study. It's somewhat of an unbelievable study. Dr. Jill Biden's ex-husband, Bill Stevenson, is charged with the murder of his wife, Linda, who was found unresponsive in her Delaware home in December and later pronounced dead as a celebration of Christmas among the Biden family. Bill was indicted on a first-degree murder charge and taken into custody without incident on Monday, February 2nd, the Newcastle County Police Department said in a press release. Bill was arraigned and is currently being held in lieu of $500,000 bail, police said. Linda was found dead in the couple's home in Oak Hill, Delaware, after police responded to a reported domestic dispute on December 28, according to the department. Officers immediately administered life-saving measures. However, despite their efforts, Linda was later pronounced deceased, police said, and confirmed her body was discovered in the living room of the home. Further details on Linda's cause of death have not yet been revealed because they're all in with the Bidens. What can you say? Bill married Jill Biden in 1970, and they divorced in 75. She would go on to marry Senator Joe Biden, who became the 46th president of the United States in absentia. And it's just a great group of people over there in Delaware. Get the F out. All right. We're not going to end on that note. It's too awful, and there's been lots of awful, spelled O-F-F-A-L, in this particular news day. Obama on up. But let's end on a happy note. This involves the Secret Service doing something well, which we almost never hear about. An elderly victim of cybercrime no longer has to worry how she will pay the bills thanks to investigators who turned her life around. 71-year-old Jeanette Voss of Bennington, Vermont, was forced to obsess over saving money after cyber scammers took her life savings, which was $950,000 just over 4 years ago. Voss, who lives in a small home, rationed her car trips, unplugged appliances, checked her bank accounts frequently to ensure she had enough money to live on. The outlet said when the scammers took her money, she ended up living on her Social Security checks and used food stamps for groceries. It seemed to Voss all was lost, even though she had responsibly planned for retirement. She also felt down because, due to not having that money, she was unable to afford visiting loved ones who lived out of state. The FBI in 2025 highlighted the problem of elder fraud, explaining that criminals target and take advantage of that vulnerable group. The FBI continues to work with our local, state, tribal, and federal partners to tackle elder fraud and stop those who attempt to harm the elderly, the agency said. And guess what? With AI, it's going to get worse. However, everything changed for Voss when she learned the United States Secret Service had been working on her case and others like it. Investigators traced $648,000 of her funds to a cryptocurrency account associated with a man involved in the international scam ring, court records show. After seizing the crypto wallet, government officials sold the tokens in order to compensate Voss and some of the other 20-plus victims, noting every penny was returned to her plus interest with a total of $1,033,000. That's an awesome outcome. Voss discovered the money in her bank account on Christmas Eve, and she is now planning to visit relatives in California. In addition, she spent some money on food for the neighborhood animals who lifted her spirits when she thought things would never change. I bought some raw peanuts in the shell for the squirrels. That was my big celebration. Honestly, I really couldn't think of anything that I needed. What a great example this woman is. Okay? And one more great example to send you off on hump day. Okay? And that is a personal text from Andy Wolf, the National Guardsman shot in the head in D.C. His partner died at the scene, I think maybe shortly afterwards. And he has just been experiencing the miracle of prayer. So here's what he writes in his text. I'm grateful to be alive. Thank you for your prayers and support. It's all been overwhelming, and I'm trying still and determined. It's been hard to go through, something like this. Thank you for everything, Andy Wolf. Hey, dear God, thank you for answering the prayers for Andy. Please answer the prayers for Tina Peters. Please answer them for the Ben Sass family that got totally T-boned before the holidays. Lord, please reach out your arms and surround the 647 community and bless them. Bless our country. Bless our leadership and the cabinet. And God bless each and every one of you. And thank you for being here. Have a fantastic hump day. All right. Take care.
Take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. And yo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes.